April 19th, 2015, from the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. It was Game 1 from the 2015 NBA playoffs between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And in this game, it was entertaining to say the least, as we saw some big performances. We saw a couple of double-doubles on each side. In the first quarter, with 2 minutes left, Isaiah Thomas hits a deuce to put the Celtics up by 4. LeBron responded with a couple of free throws, and then Kelly Olynyk hit a big three-pointer, and that put the Celtics up by 5. Kyrie Irving with a layup, and then Bradley with a layup on the other end for the Celtics. And then Tristan Thompson would go to the line and miss the first and make the second, and at the end of one quarter, it was 31-27. So very few people thought the Celtics would be in the lead after one quarter of play, but a big effort from Isaiah Thomas and some other players on the Celtics as well. But in the second quarter, it was all Cavaliers as the Cavaliers turned it on. They outscored the Celtics by 12 points in the quarter, and that allowed them to take a lead into halftime of 8 points with the score 62-54 as Kyrie Irving hit a huge three-pointer at the end of halftime. And he had just hit a big three-pointer just a few seconds earlier with about a minute left. And then Isaiah Thomas with the J, and then another three-pointer for Kyrie Irving. So two big three-pointers at the end of the first half for Kyrie Irving. And it was 62-54 Cleveland heading into halftime. And in the third quarter, the Cavaliers would continue to push their lead as they would end up going into the fourth with the score 92-76 as they extended their lead to 15 points. And James Jones ended the third quarter with a big tray for the Cavaliers. Then the fourth quarter, the Celtics tried to fight back in it and erase that deficit, but they were only able to get as close as 10 points when Isaiah Thomas with a long two, about as long as they can get. It was almost a three, but it made it a 10-point game at 108-98 with about 3.5 minutes left to play. But then Kevin Love responded with a big three-pointer, pushing the Cavaliers' lead back to 13, and that would be the lead at the end of the game, as it would come to a close a few minutes later with the final score, Cleveland 113, Boston 100. So the Cavaliers hold on to win this one. They erased that first quarter deficit, and they were pretty dominant in the second and third quarters. The Celtics actually outscored them in the fourth, but be too little too late. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Love with a double-double. 3 of the 5 starters scored in double digits, 1 point away from having 4 starters in double digits. They had 5 players in double digits as Tristan Thompson came off the bench for 12 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. The leading scorer, Kyrie Irving, he had 30 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and a block. LeBron James had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. They said Kevin Love with that double-double, 19 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And J.R. Smith, he had 9 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. And Mozgov had 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks to round out the starting 5 for the Cavs. This had Tristan Thompson. He came off the bench for 12. That was 12 of the 29 points scored by the Cleveland bench. James Jones also had 8 points and a rebound. And Shumpert had 7 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. And Dellavedova came off the bench for 2 points and 3 assists. For the Celtics, they had 3 of their starters score in double digits, although their leading scorer out of their starting 5 was Evan Turner with just 12 points. He had 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. The leading scorer for the Celtics was none other than Isaiah Thomas. He put up a double-double. He had 22 points in this game, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, and a steal. And Isaiah Thomas, he's all but a sure thing to win the 6th Man of the Year award, as he put up the best performance in this game for the Celtics coming off the bench. Olynyk as well scored in double digits off the bench for the season. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and 2 blocks. And Crowder also had double digits off the bench with 10 points, 5 boards, 1 steal, and a block as well. And I mean, let's see here. 22, 34, that's 44. That's 48 plus 7. That's 55 points for the Celtics bench. So they outscored their starters 55-45 as they put up 100 points in this game. The real difference in this game, though, it was two things, and it basically boiled down to presence in the paint, but it was the rebounds and the free throws. That's where the Cavs got them. The Cavs out-rebounded the Celtics 46-34, as they had almost twice as many offensive rebounds as the Celtics, as they kept giving their shooters second chances, whereas the Celtics struggled to get any offensive boards. And the Celtics got to the line 18 of 22 times. This is their free throw shooting for 81.8%. The Cavs actually shot a lower percentage, 78.8%, but they got there 33 times and hit 26 shots. So they got there 11 more times to the free throw line and made 8 more free throw shots. I mean, that right there, that's 8 points on its own, and they won by 13. You factor in they had 12 more rebounds, and I mean, that's the recipe for success right there. Of course, they did pretty good from the three-point land, as the Cavaliers shot 41.9%, hitting 13 of 31. The Celtics hitting 8 of 22 for 36.4%. The Celtics actually had a higher field goal percentage than the Cavaliers at 46.8%. The Cavs had 45.1%. But as I said, it was those rebounds, that presence in the paint from the big men, especially Kevin Love coming up huge with that double-double. Mozgov was a tremendous presence in the paint, as well as Thompson and Shumpert getting a lot of rebounds for the shooting guard even. But LeBron James even with 6 boards. But all around, this game was an exciting one, and we'll be looking forward to Game 2. But the final score here in Game 1 is the Cleveland Cavaliers take a 1-0 lead in the series. Cleveland 113, Celtics 100.